But I got to work harder now because I got to preach this shit. I got to talk this shit with you motherfuckers. So I took a call, and I was very polite to her. And guess what she did again to me? She shit on my fucking face.
Right.
So you live and you learn. You have peaks and valleys in this life. Everybody, whether you're rich, poor, I don't care how fucking rich you are. Maybe God will give you $20 million, but you're going to have a 1-inch dick. What would you rather have, a 6-inch dick and be poor? Somebody's always going to suck your dick. Nobody wants to suck a 1-inch dick unless you got $20 million in the fucking
That
bank.
would suck. A 1-inch dick. How long did it take you to recover? Like that's a pretty bad valley. Like, how long
Listen,
did it take
man,
you?
let's be honest with ourselves. You never recover.
Really?
I think you just put dirt over it and fuck with it. And then what happens is it stings less and less every month. But this went on with my ex in 95. It's 2005, 20 years later. And yeah, I think about it from time to time and I get agitated. But I think about it 4 times a year where it ties a knot in my stomach and it beats me down for a few hours.
Really?
Yeah, but I know how to pick myself up. I've been in darker places.
Do you think the same goes for good things? Like, then do you ever stop feeling good about like The Longest Yard, for example, or does it just keep getting like less and less? Because it seems to me that sometimes the good things fade a lot quicker than the bad things do, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're just a little bit less.
I can't lie to you. I think about the good things, but I also keep some of the bad things in mind to keep me aware of how fast things could change in your life.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to somebody at 4 in the afternoon, and at 3 in the morning, they were dead. So I always want people to keep everything like that in mind. You have to keep that close. Not too close. I don't want you walking around, well, my cat's going to die in 8 years. It's like people who think like that, you know. Oh, my God, my cat's 8. What do they have left? 7 years. They're going to die in 7 years. Well, we'll deal with it in 7 fucking years. But right now, all you can do is just grasp what's in front of you.
Right.
You know? But I'm happy I called that dude. I'm happy I thanked him.
What did he say? Did he...
He was really happy. In fact, he emailed me on my website. So that means he checked me out after I called him.
Oh, wow.
And he said it was really nice to talk to him and blah, blah, blah. And what was weird was that his son was involved in a college film program now. And he goes, that's amazing that he's doing that, so I wish you all the luck. He goes, the phone call meant a lot. Sure it did. Sure it did, because the work you put into it, I never forgot. You know, I never fucking forgot.
And what did he, like, what was his, was it the violence plan that he did that saved your life? What did he do that saved it?
Let me tell you what he did. Honestly, as a man, he fought for me. Something that very few people have ever done. He fought for me as a white dude. Which white people like that never fight for you. They always think of what they have to lose before they fight for you. You know, those are the type of people that when you go up to them and say, hey, man, I said this and I got fired, they'll say, okay, and they turn their back on you because they can't, God forbid, they lose their job.
Right, yeah.
He didn't look at it that way. That's what I'm trying to say. He didn't care about his other clients. He didn't like this district attorney he went up against. I forget what the district attorney's name was. I remember I bumped into him into a supermarket, and he was also a super Gentile. But he broke down my life to me in a way that I had never heard it before, and the man wasn't lying. He said, you've been chucking and jiving all your life. It's time you pay the piper. And I looked at him with a black, with a fucking Malouk eye. I wanted him to get hit by a
The
truck.
Malouk eye.
I wanted him to get hit by a truck, but that saying hit home that I was chucking and jiving. And people do it all the time. People chuck and jive their life away, whether it's from comedy. How many comedians that you look at, they don't write, and they do it for pussy, and you look at them and you're like, oh, you're 28, but then you see them 10 years later, now they're 48, and they're still chucking and jiving. They really haven't gotten nowhere. They've chucked and jived themselves into a circle. I was chucking and jiving myself into a circle. I was going to be in the same fucking circle. I was never going to move forward because I was a chucker and jiver. Just give me the 20 now. We'll take care of it. It was always a chuck and jive.
It's a lot easier than making your own money or working harder.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. So, but I'm happy I called him, man. And
that's really cool.
It's funny. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday who's down the Jersey Shore. And I said, have you talked to my other buddy? And he goes, no. I go, call him because he's down there. I spoke to him a week or two ago, and he told me the dates, and I'm really good with dates. He's down there. He goes, no, he's not. He works all the time. I go, I'm telling you, he's down there, and he's got his daughter. And you got your daughter and they get along. Today he calls me this morning. He goes, from 2,000 miles away, you put us together. That's fucking brilliant. Because I talked to the both of them. And I talked to these guys primarily because the one guy turned me on to David Letterman.
Really?
And I used to go to his house late night, and he'd feed me at night. We'd talk about comedy. We'd do a couple blasts. And then I talk to him all the time. We giggle about everything. You know, he's a serious dude, but I get him giggling. He doesn't have any kids. He's not married. He's still a stoner. And the other guy's a married guy, you know, fucking solid, don't do drugs. He's Mercy's godfather.
Oh, I met him,
James,
right?
yeah, James. And so they bumped him. But I talked to James because, oh, my God, there was so many times I used to go home to do comedy at Rascals. I was getting 300 for the weekend. And James would put me up 2 of the nights. I never wanted James to feel that he put me up those 2 nights and I didn't do nothing with him. That's the most important thing to me. I always want anybody who put themselves out for me to know that they put themselves out for me, man, but I gave it 150 fucking percent.
Are you making your way through like a list, or it just comes to you someday like, oh, this person?
Sometimes I have a list. I don't have a list. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not like My Name Is Earl. I don't have a list, but I do have.
I forgot about that show.
Yeah, that's a great fucking show. I do have. First day I showed up to the show, I wore a pot shirt.
Really?
Okay?
You
Now,
had a pot shirt?
I had a pot shirt. There was a pot store on Sunset that had a great shirt. It was like a shirt with a leaf and a heart on it, and it was tan, and it was short sleeve, and it was fucking just comfortable. The cotton was great. And I put it on one time in a fucking bind, and it was just a great shirt. And the first day I ever shot My Name Is Earl, I was like, fuck it, I'll put this shirt on and go down there. And oh my God, people came out of the woodwork and they were like, hey, man. They were all giving me high fives.
Really?
Everybody was a stoner on that show. So,
I can see that.
what are we talking about? Oh, a list. It's not as much as a list as a personal. I know who really was my friend all those years. You know, like, and it breaks my heart. It would have broken my heart if I would have ended up in jail. Like, when I went to prison, I know James was just, you know, Joe Rogan always asked me, you know, and I go, the last thing I wanted was somebody coming up to Joe Rogan and saying, you see, we were right, he's nothing but a junkie. And Joe wouldn't have had a leg to argue with. Joe would have never had a leg to argue with. I'm so happy I don't do drugs because I didn't embarrass Joe and I didn't embarrass my wife. I never wanted somebody to go up to Joe and say, see, we told you he was nothing but a fucking junkie. We told you, you know. That's always been big in my life, proving people wrong and then repaying the people that had my back during that whole thing. You know, that kid that I told you that I called and he's single, Mike, when I first got accused of robbing the Liggio house, I called Mike up like a man, and he goes, tell me the truth, did you rob him? And I go, no, not at all. And he goes, all right, cool. Well, I'll take care of this. You know, I called the captain of police that time. I'd grown up in my house. I'd grown up in his house. I used to go eat his chili with his kid all the time. When I first got accused of robbing Liggio, I called him up and said, this is what's going on. I've robbed a lot of places. I'm not telling you I'm an innocente here. What I'm telling you is I didn't rob that place.